Hello, crypto boys and ghouls, and welcome back to the channel, Tales from the Cryptmancer, where we feature content on play and earn games on the blockchain, such as Splinterlands. And in today's video, I wanted to discuss DEC-B Strategy, specifically DEC-B value, and how you might be able to extract the most value out of, basically your purchases for DEC-B currently, regardless of what your strategy is here. And we're going to talk a little bit about why you might want to have a DEC-B strategy. But first, just I guess to set the record straight and be completely transparent, for me personally, I am voting yes for the DEC-B proposal that has been put forth. If we can do things like this in the grand scheme of things to burn DEC, get DEC back to peg, do all those great tokenomic type things, and it doesn't take development effort or really cause much strife in the community, I'm all for it at the end of the day. It's kind of for the greater good. So that's kind of my personal stance and why I'm voting yes on this strategy. But, you might be in the audience asking yourself, well, what does the DEC-B proposal mean to me and why should I be paying attention to it? Yes, it is true. You'd be paying upfront essentially by buying DEC-B today to be able to use in the future to burn it for purposes in the game. And you may not be necessarily donating a lot of DEC to your guild. You may not own land. And you may be asking yourself, well, why does DEC-B proposal mean anything to me, and why would I want to potentially pick up some DEC-B? Well, if in the future you might be interested in some skin or cosmetic purchases for a discount, DEC-B might be something you'd want to have in your wallet, so to speak. But really, probably the most valuable reason for having DEC-B in the future is if, for example, Rift Watcher's proposal came up for DEC. Again, if the proposal was reinitiated to sell Rift Watcher packs in DEC, well, if you wanted any Rift Watcher cards or packs, you might be interested in DEC-B at that point in time because, well, DEC-B would be giving you a pretty hefty discount on the cost of those Rift Watcher packs in the future if that proposal were to go through. So that's something to consider. And I want to hop into this clip from Splinterlands TV from this past weekend where he talked about the value of DEC-B and where to get the most value, whether that's from DEC, whether that's from vouchers. And the math actually, since this weekend, has remained pretty much the same. There hasn't been a big variance or price differential in DEC or vouchers. So for the most part, these calculations are pretty much spot on a week later, which is pretty surprising. But let's hop into the clip, and until next time, keep stacking those stats. So I want to talk a little bit about DEC-B. And one of the questions that I've been asking myself personally is, if I want to take advantage of DEC-B, what is the better bargain or buy right now in the marketplace? Is it going to be DEC, or is it going to be vouchers? And we can do the math here, and we can kind of answer that question. So if we want to look at DEC-B, we can see that we can get a DEC-B token in this offering that's proposed for 0.8 DEC or 0.005 vouchers. And it's kind of complicated when you think about what that means. Let's talk about what this translates to. So if we look at the price right now of DEC being 0.00055. If we had, let's pick a round number. Let's pick $100. We want to invest in DEC-B. If we were to buy $100 worth of DEC or vouchers, which is going to give us the best value? is the question here. And the reason why this might be important is, for example, if maybe you're selling $100 worth of GLX, or maybe you're selling $100 worth of Hive, or maybe you're bringing $100 of fiat in for DEC-B. You want to know which is the best exchange rate, basically. Now, again, $100 could be $1 or $10 or $1,000 or $1 million. Doesn't really matter. It's all going to be the same once you just figure out the exchange rate. So basically, if we were to take $100 and buy $100 worth of DEC at the current Hive market price, it's telling us we would actually get 181,818 DEC for $100 purchase. Now, if we look at this, we can see that we can get one DEC battery or DEC-B for 0.8 DEC. And the game will in the future trade that DEC-B 1-to-1 for burning features such as land survey potions, guild buildings and guild alliance building upgrades, maintenance and boost and land expansion, future mini additions, pending DAO approval, and skin and cosmetics. So if we do this, we take the 181,818 DEC, we divide it by 0.8, this is going to tell us how many DEC-B we're going to get for $100. And we're going to get 227,272 DEC-B to be able to burn in the future. So this is DEC, $100, right? So that's pretty good. $100 DEC at PEG is only 100,000 DEC-B. So we're actually getting 2.27 times the amount of DEC with the DEC-B discount plus the discounted pricing in the current market. So that's a good deal, right? Well, let's see what vouchers. Let's see the math on the vouchers, because that could be interesting to look at as well. We can see that vouchers here, where are vouchers? All right, there are vouchers. We can see that if we were to buy $100 worth of vouchers, and vouchers are currently 0.07509, we could actually buy 1,331.73 vouchers with $100, basically in GLX or Hive or fiat or whatever. So 1,331.735 vouchers. If you look at the proposal, we can get one DEC for 0.005 vouchers, which basically means one voucher is equal to 200 DEC-B, essentially. If we do the math here, and we actually take the vouchers that we would have got for $100, we divide it by 0.005, what does it tell us? It tells us that for $100 in vouchers, we can actually get 266,347.05 DEC-B, which is pretty good, right? So $100 in vouchers here is going to equal 266,347 DEC-B. Now, if you look at this, it's clear that given the current market prices, getting vouchers right now for DEC-B stockpiling is the better play, because you're going to get, for every $100 worth of exchanging that you do, you're going to get roughly 40,000 extra DEC-B with that current exchange rate based on the current market prices. So if you're asking yourself, based on today's market prices, what is the better deal? Well, now you have your answer. Today it's vouchers. Tomorrow it could be DEC. You just never know. You got to always do the equation when you're spending your money or exchanging your tokens. But basically, that's how you would do it. That's how you would kind of manually calculate where the best value. And if you would have guessed or thought that DEC is the better value because DEC went down 10% yesterday, in actuality, you would be incorrect. and vouchers would be the better bargain currently. So there you go.